Okay, so book 18 was my Pride and Prejudice. Oh, I enjoyed this so immensely. This is one of my favorite books. I read it just about every year. So, okay, so it's also my birthday month this month. I'm a January baby. So usually in January, as I get closer to my birthday, I'll read in Pride and Prejudice because it's one of the first books that actually um made me fall in love with reading. It just was one of those kind of things. Before I was obsessed with Pride and Prejudice, Jane Eyre was one of my favorite books. And so I have the Chiltern copy of Jane Eyre that I haven't read yet. I've read Jane Eyre, but I haven't read the Chiltern copy of it. So I'm going to be able to share that with you because that's going to be on my list of things to read this year. Yay, I got to finish reading. I have like five other books that I got the Chiltern copies of. They're just amazing. Look, y'all, it's like if you look at these pages and they've got the little ribbon, I love that. It's like magazine slick copy. So they're really heavy. I'll warn you ahead of time. My hands were falling apart by the time I was done reading all of these copies, but they were really really fun to read. So, okay. So what I loved about reading Pride and Prejudice was that I then would jump into, hold on, my phone is telling me that it's about to die and it's giving me all kinds of problems. Okay, so from Pride and Prejudice, I jumped into this series. So, book 19, this series I found um, is one of my favorite. Okay, it continues on after Pride and Prejudice, right? So Linda Birdall, what I love about her is that she's actually from Buda, Texas, which is right here by Austin. I'm around Austin. I live around on the outskirts of Austin, Texas. Grew up out here. And so I mean I'm originally from Louisiana, but we got here and I grew up in Austin since I was 11. So pretty much city girl, but Austin's kind of one of those places where it's kind of like a hometown feel. Anyway, what I loved about this author is that she's local. And I always want to support a local author, right? So, anyways, I discovered this as one of my Barnes and Noble kicks at some point. I was, I don't know, I guess just moping through Barnes and Noble. I used to do this a lot and found this one. And then she wrote three more. So, Mr. Darcy Takes a Wife. This is the first book continuing the story of Pride and Prejudice. So, of course, Jane Austen, her thing, she always stops before the good stuff happens, right? So they get married, or they're gonna get married. They're engaged, because it's always that's the winning part, right? They're engaged. So this one takes you to the wedding, the afterwards, all the fun stuff that happens, all the adult stuff that happens afterwards. And they get crazy, y'all. It's a little but it's good. Okay? It's definitely adult. Um and it's not raunchy. It's like real. It's so relatable. Anyhow, so that's my book 19. Look how thick, y'all. That's a thick book. There's 400 plus pages, 450. Anyways, told y'all, avid reader. So, okay, so you got Mr. Darcy Takes a Wife, and then number 19 continues, right? Darcy and Elizabeth, nights and days at Pemberley. And the story continues. And the drama continues. Oh my God. So her family, you learn more about the relationship between Jane and Bingham and Lydia, the crazy sister, and Wickham, who's like ugh, disgusting. But it goes on and on. It's amazing. So um, continues in the aftermath of the war. Brits defeated Napoleon at Waterloo, all of that kind of stuff. You find out all the thing that's going on, and all the drama continues, right? Okay, then oh, the ruling passion. This is my number 21, y'all. Um, Again, Pride and Prejudice continues. Um, I think this is where, I think they had kids. Yeah, they had kids in the second one, and they're growing up in this one. So, yeah, so you're getting to watch the kids grow up, and she's had some issues with fertility and um things. So there's some up moments, there's some down moments, there's, real life moments in their life. And what I love is their relationship. The relationship between her and Darcy is so bang on real, and it's so deep, and it's so passionate and so loving. Like, if you could create this in your head, all the years of wanting to marry a Mr. Darcy, like, this would be, if I wanted to be Elizabeth and I wanted to marry Mr. Darcy, this is the kind of story that I would want of that life. It continues on. It's so great. And then her latest one was The Darcy's New Pleasures. And this was my book 22, y'all. So, oh, I put a note in here that I hit a reading wall before this, so I must have I got a little winded going through all those Jane Austen books, because you kind of get caught up in the English, and it's like when you read one particular author, you start feeling out the formula per se, and I don't know, I was getting a little overloaded with Jane, I think, but this story, not Linda's story, this one is insanely awesome. Anyway, it goes into more story of the Bingleys, and the Darcy kids are now of age, they're grown up, and it's their reputations and the drama that comes with that. And is Darcy still in love with Elizabeth? Is she still attractive after having X number of kids, and that kind of stuff? So again, real life after the kids grow up, empty nest syndrome kind of stuff. Like, it's just awesome. Anyways, and then you got to deal with Lydia and all her kids. That in this particular storyline, Lydia's popping out kids left and right. Like, it's unbelievable the number of kids. And of course they're all brats because she doesn't want to raise them properly. And Lydia is spoiled, and so her kids are spoiled, and so they grow up to be spoiled, and it's insane, and you kind of just want to, again, throttle her a little bit. So that was my obsession with my Jane Austen. I had a whole shelf, and so I got to mark one of my shelves off on my bucket list because I had my Jane Austen shelf. So, yay!